Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to be here today, and thank you for the invitation. From my point of view, the basic of diplomacy actually is how to connect people, because when they are connected, maybe they will improve something or solve some problems. In that point, also is very important that we have as many tools as we can have to bring people together. Today's presentation is in that way that to show how the music can be that tool and how that is important. The theme that I will speak about is choral music in cultural presentation, exchange, and collaboration. Choral music in cultural presentation is all over the world as that. The choral music actually is music for choirs from amateurs and professionals. Professionals, you know, they have the diploma, they are working for that. But the other section is very important, very interesting. The amateurs choir, they are all over the world so much engaged that they have not only the artistic matter but also the cultural one. They are with specialization in some artistic period such as Renaissance, music genre or jazz, but also they are the profile performance as doctors or academic choirs or etc. In this presentation you can see that the choirs are divided by age, and as you can see here you have all age involved in the choir. So actually the point is that actually everyone can sing in the choir, and it is all over the world like that. The national item is the field which I would like to point that the singing is the most natural and simple music expression. And the national item is actually the national identity presented in one song. Everyone has it, and I would like to point the expressions of the people and the emotions, what they put in a national item. That emotions which are there, which are unique for all over the world, actually are very important to put in the music singing schools, because they will then become creative and versatile individual. You know that a national item for Europe is Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, and it is vocal instrumental performance which always has to be with a lot of people involved. You can see now how many choir singers upstairs we have. The national item, what we can see on the field of sport, is also very important. Those emotions the people show there are very something to see and to learn how actually the people express through singing the emotions. When we think about that, then they will see how important is that heritage we have in the national item, but also in the cultural presentation of one nation. The music, choral music, in cultural presentations comes through three fields: traditional aspects, regional aspect, and artistic aspect. The choir music actually is preservation of traditional music. We have, and I see that a lot of speakers told before, how many things we have which are very important for our heritage in Croatia and as all over the world. So one of these things are also the traditional music, which is actually the base for a choir music. It is the point in Croatia and for the other countries. For instance, we have Bitinada, which is the fisherman songs, and we had one international festival here in Croatia when we put that Bitinada singing in a choir music, and we had new pieces for contemporary authors and having then performances in Rovinj. Eastern musical scale is also something which is preserved by UNESCO, and it has its own color, like we see, for instance, in China, the China scale is also very interesting. That color we can see the different one, but very recognizable one in Eastern music scale. It is also the basic of a lot of contemporary pieces. Here also we have notes from Josip Stolce Slavenski, Voda zvira iz kamena. It is water from a spring, and the national song is actually the basic in this piece. Choral music also has a religious aspect, and I would like to say something which St. Augustine said, who sings praise twice. It means that those thoughts and those feelings which we express with singing means actually twice. The artistic aspect of choral music is recognizable everywhere. It is concert activities, festival competitions, in vocal and vocal instrumental music. I already said something about cultural presentation, national music heritage, but it is also meant for the contemporary music as well. And choral music art has a massive dimensions because, as I said before, everyone can sing in the choirs, and everyone can produce choral music, at least as an anthem of one nation. This is just a little bit illustration about those activities. When I said that diplomacy is actually to connect people, choral music in exchange is very popular all over the world. There are a lot of national and international choir festivals and competitions, and that is the field of national cultural exchange. I noticed going all over the world, there are a lot of festivals and competitions has a great national benefit, but they are struggling for just a local support. Other aspects are also very interesting which are coming with that, because there are choirs, there are a lot of people. The tourism is actually something which is having a great impact in that, and also it could have also the education. This project, which we had a few years ago, was a Croatian project when we had all girls from all Croatia united in one choir, having a great concert as a Prima Art Fest. Music Biennale Zagreb is a contemporary international festival who has connecting people all over the world, and here was great composers from all over the world. It is taking part every second year in Croatia. It will going to take part next year as well. In Europe, we have a lot of festivals. I just had a few informations here. For instance, this is World Choir Festival on Musicals in Thessaloniki, Greece. It is led every year. Also in Macedonia, which has a lot of participants, more than 50 every year. As you can see, it is always a lot of audience who is actually have a great benefit from that cultural exchange. The next step is a collaboration. There are a lot of international choir projects, and they are for different occasions, for education, for concerts in memoriam, for the field of diplomacy. Always it is a massive approach for music. This happened this year. It is called The Letter for a Friend by a British Council project, and this gentleman, Bill Connor, the composer, he worked 9 months in Croatia's schools with the children, and that ended as a big project and a concert in our greatest hall, Vatroslav Lisinski. This was a concert in memoriam. It was a concert of the friendship of Croatia and Japan for Japanese victims of the earthquake. The conductor was Reona Ito from Japan, and all the singers and musicians were from those two countries. 4 years ago, we attended to a Ravenna Music Festival in Italy. It was the concert of the friendship. Actually, at that time, the situation from these 3 countries, Italy, Croatia, and Slovenia, were not quite clear. And this concert of the friendship joined for more than 400 musicians and took place in a few countries and in a few cities. Here you can see the rehearsal in Trieste, and those 3 chairs are for the 3 presidents who attended also the concerts. At the evening, this was the crowd. At present time, there was a concert for the past. A few nights ago, I saw it on the television from Sarajevo. It was in the City Hall, which was ruined 20 years ago totally. It burned out in the war. And now there was a concert, a very interesting one, with a European initiative for the memory of the beginning of the First World War. When I saw that concert in the new building, which was rebuilt, it was like a concert of the hope for the Sarajevo and for the region. But also, I was in thoughts. Actually, do we need that concert in that hall for today? Because as we see our region, we have still divided countries, divided regions, divided cities, divided people. So, as I said before, there is still a time for all tools we have to connect people, for the diplomacy and for the music. Thank you.